everyone. How are you all doing today? I myself am doing well. If you enjoy my content, go ahead and leave a like, maybe even subscribe. Otherwise, let's get to the article that I'm covering today. It's published by NBC News. Chaotic disaster. Obama hits Trump's coronavirus response, warns of disinformation ahead of election. The former president was also critical of the Justice Department directing prosecutors to drop their case against Michael Flynn, warning that the rule of law is at risk. Although the major problem with that is that Michael Flynn did plead guilty to something, but that something was not a crime. Moving down right here. After largely staying out of the fray since leaving the White House, former President Barack Obama pointedly criticized the Trump administration on a range of issues while also sounding the alarm about the spread of misinformation ahead of presidential election as he rallied former members of his administration to join him in doing all they can to back his former vice president. Now, some things to go over with that first paragraph is that I did prefer it that Obama was staying out of it. He wasn't really causing any extra discourse because he was staying out. And now that he's putting his hat behind Biden, he's just going full force with the Trump hate. And I don't mind him hating on Trump. I just wish that it didn't come at a time when we needed to rally together. We needed people to rally behind Trump and support him and create hope for the normal American people. It's really not that hard to just stop fighting for a while and just get together and do something that would be beneficial. Another thing I'd like to criticize is that even though he's going full force onto Biden right now, he was one of the ones who took the longest to actually endorse Biden. So this just seems like he's kind of repenting on not giving his full support back then, and now just going, all right, now that he's guaranteed, I'm gonna be guaranteeing and giving my full support. In a call with thousands of alumni and his administration Friday night, the contents of which were first reported by Yahoo News, Obama also was harshly critical of the Justice Department directing prosecutors to drop its case against former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. This is how democracies become autocracies, he warned. And Obama slammed the Trump administration's response to the coronavirus pandemic as an absolute chaotic disaster. What we are fighting against is the long-term trends in which being selfish, being tribal, being divided, and seeing others as the enemy. Well, he certainly hasn't been on the internet too long if he's just realizing that people are tribal and selfish. Most of the time, they do things that benefit or make them feel good. Now, imagine if Trump took the Obama approach. Trump called it a state of emergency after one coronavirus death. It took Obama 1,000 swine flu deaths before he would call a state of emergency himself. It's part of the reason why the response to this global crisis has been so anemic and spotty, and it would have been bad even with the best of governments, he said, as if Trump's administration is the worst that we can get out of this as well. While the White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany responded to Obama's criticism on Saturday by saying President Trump's coronavirus response has been unprecedented and saved American lives. As we all know, that Trump has been a big component of getting American companies out of China and getting trade away from China. Of course, he would be quick to shut down flights to and in between China. While Democrats were pursuing a sham witch hunt against President Trump was shutting down travel from China, while Democrats encouraged mass gatherings. Remembering Nancy Pelosi saying, "Go hug a Chinese person, go and eat at their restaurants." President Trump was deploying PPE, ventilators, and testing across the country. The statement said, as Governor Andrew Cuomo said, President Trump's response has been phenomenal. There has been a bipartisan recognition of Trump's leadership, and the American people have taken notice. As they should. The dark times is when we should look to our leaders the most. Even if you hate him, you can criticize him afterwards once we're all safe and aware. Some 3,000 Obama administration alumni took part in Friday's discussion as part of a regular series of gatherings of the tight-knit network. One participant who took detailed notes of the conversation said the purpose was for the former president to encourage those who were inspired to join his campaign and administration to remain engaged in the political process, especially in the fall campaign. I bet these type of groups are also the same types that are so hard to express a different opinion. So many people get mad over opinions these days. Obama took 5 questions submitted in advance by attendees and pre-selected by event organizers so he wouldn't look bad at any moment, including one about the prevalence of disinformation campaigns with the rise of social media. Like when people were trying to rag on Trump for asking a stupid question and saying that he was stupidly recommending people drink bleach. He just stupidly asked if there was a way to inject people with disinfectant. The former president shared that his 2 daughters have shown him viral TikTok videos intended to discourage voters from supporting Biden in the fall. I'm a 50-year-old guy. I don't have all the answers here, Obama said, but he said finding solutions to counter this and address it was long-term mission for his former staff. Obama repeatedly voiced support for Biden on the call, but said it was just enough to support him in the presidential race, but to ensure Democrats held the House and won back control of the Senate as well. Because in his arrogance, he left so many seats open to be filled by Hillary Clinton when she was supposedly going to win the 2016 election, but was curb-stomped by Trump's win. I'm going to be spending as much time as necessary and campaigning as far as I can for Joe Biden. We all know Joe, Obama said, while also praising Nancy Pelosi's leadership as Speaker of the House. Again, it took Obama forever to throw his hat behind Biden. He had to make sure that he was going to be the actual candidate before throwing his hat behind him, and now he kind of seems like he's repenting with all this support. Obama, who endorsed Biden officially last month, downplayed any notion of a rift in the Democratic Party, which he has to, because we all know that they're going crazy trying to figure out who can beat Trump, and praised Senator Bernie Sanders for what he characterized as a sincere desire to do all that he can to help Biden as well. Sanders' support, he added, could help his former running mate as he works to improve his standing with young voters. And it's young voters who are so easily drawn in by shaking of keys. Oh, you want some free stuff? You want some free stuff? You don't want to pay your college debt? Come over here. Sanders will take care of you. Obama was careful not to name Trump often in the discussion, but was sharply critical of the Republican Party. He said that the party campaigns by stoking cynicism about whether government can effectively tackle the national problems. Which I feel that there is a need for the federal government to step back and allow state governors to take control, at which they have let. And when they're in power, take steps to deliberately weaken it, making it a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, because he would just go straight out and take all the authoritarian power that he could if he was in Trump's position right now. He said his biggest concern if Trump is reelected is that he would double down on an us versus them attitude that has become more commonly in high partisan political environment and risks redefining the nation's identity for a melting pot that had become welcomed and embraced diversity. Which is a competitive attitude. You need a competitive attitude if you ever want to be one, and that's something that's been lost on the current generations in America, and that's why I'm glad to support President Trump as he is stoking the continual of competition of trying to be the best. In lighter moments, Obama said he is still working hard on his memoir to the point where he hasn't been able to read as much as he would like. He also plugged his wife's new Netflix special, Becoming, because we all know who really wears the pants in that relationship. Noting the late afternoon timing of the event, Obama also joked that his staff should share a toast. It's 5 o'clock, people. You should be drinking, he joked. And that's where the article ends. And I'd like to say again, if you've enjoyed my content, go ahead and leave a like and maybe even subscribe. I will be covering news articles from time to time, but I'm not a news channel. This article just especially upset me, so I decided to do something on it. That about does it all for today. I hope you enjoy your time, stay well, and take care.